Good afternoon. My name is Xavier Bailey, and I am the Manatee Tiger Bay president. I will be moderating today's luncheon. We appreciate you all being here today. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Now, this is a tricky one today because I want to say, do I have any dignitaries? And I think I have the entire school board here. I'm just going to see, go one by. Hey, Chad, how are you? Chad, what district are you? District 4. Give him a round of applause. Heather Felton, what district are you? District 1. Give her a round of applause. Cindy? District 2. Give her a round of applause. Who am I missing? Am I missing someone? Richard and Charlie. Charlie, you just sat down. Charlie Kennedy, what district are you? 3. District 3. Give him a round of applause. And Richard Tatum, what district are you? 5. Give him a round of applause. We also have a candidate, Glenn Pearson, is running for Congress, District 16. Please give him a round of applause. As you come through this season, and we will be entering into our political debates in the next few months after our constitutional officers. So please make sure you come out to hear those debates. We're putting them together for you so you can be very informed. Do we have any active veterans? Any veterans or if you are a veteran, please stand and be recognized. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you, Richard. So today we're going to have our new superintendent, and I got her bio, and it was interesting. She says, don't you read all that? So we do have it on our actual website, and we want to just go ahead and get right into it. We're so pleased and excited to have her here at Manatee Tiger Bay. I usually kind of tussle with the other organizations to try to get the newly superintendents in here first at Tiger Bay, but thank you so much for blessing us today. I'm going to read a little bit about her before she comes up. Dr. Laurie Breslin, education leader and innovator, superintendent, community engagement advocate of the Manatee County School District. She was appointed of the school district in Manatee County September 10th, a transformational education leader with exceptional system-level expertise and a deep commitment to student success. She oversees a district serving 55,000 students across traditional, charter, and alternative settings, while leading Manatee County's largest employer with approximately 6,000 employees. A proud graduate of Manatee Schools, former teacher, principal, and now parent in the district. Dr. Breslin embodies the tradition of excellence that defines the school district of Manatee County. Her journey reflects the spirit of being Manatee made, Manatee strong, a leader shaped by the community and dedicated to advancing it. Please welcome Dr. Laurie Breslin.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I don't know if I need the mic. I still have a teacher voice. I'm a teacher at heart and always will consider myself first and foremost an educator. I know you all are very busy and have very busy lives, so I appreciate that you have taken your time today to come here and hear about the great things we have happening in our school district. I also want to thank our communications team over here, Kevin Chapman, Jamie Carson, Christy Kavanaugh, who helped put this presentation together, who wrote the amazing things in the bio. They do a very good job juggling multiple activities and making us all look really good while doing it. So thank you. And thank you to our board members. Again, all 5 of you made it here today to hear about the things going on in our district. And I appreciate the constant dedication you give to the work that you do for our staff and our students. As mentioned, over 6,000 employees. In fact, we're creeping up closer to 7,000 as we continue to grow in our district. Our schools, over 54 schools when you take into account our ESC Center, our alternative site, our MTC site. And I'll speak a little bit later in the presentation about our upcoming schools as we continue to flourish in Manatee County. So looking at the next slide, our top 6 and 26. So when I first came into my role in September, you are asked constantly, you know, what is your focus? What are you going to do? Of course, our focus remains that built within the strategic plan that takes us through 2026. But to pull out some things to really help narrow our focus and make sure that we are collectively all working on the same things district-wide when you're in such a large organization, we pulled out the top 6 for 26. And we'll speak to these elements today, and that includes boosting the graduation rate, and not only improving the graduation rate, but making sure our graduates are ready for college and or career, to retain and recruit high-quality teachers and staff, to improve operational systems, maximizing the use of all of our resources, to create innovative learning spaces, to increase attendance and engagement with research-based interventions, and to accelerate academic growth with a hyper-focus on literacy performance. And of course, all of this surrounds or supports of students, and with that comes a focus first and foremost on safety and security on all of our facilities. So graduation rate. You can see a very positive trajectory here, but we are not done by any means focusing on graduation. And so the state just formally released the graduation numbers. That puts us at 87.6. And so we have gone up 1.9% in this past year. Thank you. The credit here goes to our students and our staff and our community. This is a community effort. It goes without saying that the more positive results we have in graduating students, the better it is for all of us. As it was said in the beginning, Manatee made, I moved to Manatee County when I was in 6th grade, and I was abnormal because I was a 6th grade student. And they're all a little bit unique. I can say that because I have a 6th grade student myself, but also abnormal because nobody was moving here. I remember I moved and went into King Middle School, and they were all like, where did you come from? Right, and I was really strange as well because I had a very thick Texas twang and came in not understanding Florida and not really ever have been to the beach, and so I was like a deer in headlights. But from there, I've and a lot of my family since then have come to Manatee County, and now you can see that when you go into our schools, many students are not originally born in Manatee County. In fact, it's almost a rarity to have students that are born here, which is a great thing for our community because that has enabled us as a school district to really flourish. So in our graduation rate, 1.9% equates to about 70 more students who graduated from one of our 7 comprehensive high schools. What we are looking at is to hit over 90% and hit over 90% as the expectation year after year, right? We should never want to be below that 90%. And so looking at this year, if you took a mark into January 2025 and January 2026, we have 106 less dropouts for seniors than we did at this point last year. And when I say seniors, I'm talking about they started us in 9th grade and through. And then juniors, we have 120 less junior level dropouts. So pretty impressive. So we're seeing that number is going to continue to go up for our community. And then moving into the next slide, in order to reach all of our targets and our gains, we have to have the best staff. And as a parent, I can tell you that my children and my 3 children have already graduated from schools in Manatee County, and I have one still in school. I've always been very impressed with the level of education that they have received, and they're all very prepared for life. And I want every child to have that same experience. When we walk into classrooms, my first gauge is this somewhere where I would want to send my child? And I can tell you overwhelmingly, absolutely, we have phenomenal educators working for our schools. We need more. So last night, I actually spent time. One of the things our HR team implemented a little over a year ago was holding classes, so to speak, for aspiring educators, those who are looking for maybe a change in their career. That's how my mom went into education. I actually was not originally in education. I went after a couple years and working in the corporate world and finding it non-fulfilling for me as I was sitting at a desk. I turned to education myself. And so I was able to speak to a very packed room of people last night about all the wonderful things about being a teacher. And so I see lots of people turning towards the profession of education. And so we bring them in, we get them prepared, we train them, and then we have to retain them once we get them at the level we want them to be. We want them to stay here and choose here. We have had raises for our staff for 10 consecutive years. And so that is a great thing we're able to share. We're one of the highest paying districts around, but that is large in part because our community supports our educators and they support it by the referendum. And we saw that overwhelmingly in 2024. We also work very hard to offer the best benefits, the best professional learning, and a track for leadership. And that's what I told the group last night. I came in as a substitute teacher in this district. I went to teacher, to lead teacher, to assistant principal, to principal, and so on. And they can do that too. My mom went into education when I was in high school and found her way up the track as well, and ended up working for the state at one point and the district office. It is a great career path for many. And so if you know those who are interested in looking at the career of education, point them our direction. We will take care of them and make sure that they're ready for our students. So our new schools. So I'm battling, I don't know, the weather. You might have, it's a little bit of a yo-yo these days, which is typical for Florida. I have terribly chapped lips because I've been at the fair. I've been at hazards of the job. Rye Ranch Elementary, we had our walkthrough yesterday to see the foundation and the walls up for one of our newest schools opening this fall. It will open under the leadership of Dr. Melinda Lundy, who has been an educator in our district for about 30 years. She is very excited to be principal of this new location, in part because she's 6th generation parish resident. And so it's really special to her to go into this school and open it on the near the very land where her family has been from. It will house over 900 students and will open pre-K through 5 next year. We're adding pre-K to this campus, and we're excited about that opportunity as well, as we know that we need additional pre-K facilities in the area of Parish. Veterans Elementary is our second school opening up next year. Same footprint that you're going to see at Rye Ranch. The principal opening this campus is Mrs. Laura Campbell. Both Dr. Lundy and Mrs. Campbell are products of the Manatee County School District. Just so happened that way. Laura has been a 10-year principal at Terra Elementary and has done amazing things, not only with the academic performance that's occurring at Terra Elementary, but also with the building. Terra was just renovated. And if you haven't seen that renovation, it's beautiful. When she opens, veterans will still be undergoing some campus building while we open that. And she's the perfect person to take the lead there. Veterans Elementary will open up in August K through 5, with the plan mid-year to try to add some pre-K classrooms once some additional construction is complete. And then yesterday, we celebrated a beautiful groundbreaking for our newest high school. It is really a special time to when you're able to open up a comprehensive high school. So we're especially excited about this. It doesn't happen in everyone's career, and it was definitely a need when you look at the number of students attending Lakewood Ranch High School and Parish Community High School. Without a doubt, we were running out of space for our 9 through 12 students. Lakewood Ranch High School will open with 1,500 student stations. We will open it in August of 27, and we will open it for grades 9 and 10. 9 and 10. If you're very interested in the school, I ask that you spend some time going online this spring and helping us. We have to name the school. We are calling it AAA High School, but we do not want it to be forever called AAA High School. It's almost catching. We have to, right? We will name the school this spring, and we'll be looking for community input before the board narrows down and selects a name. This school is located by the Premier Sports Complex. If you know any child that has played a sport in the past 10 years, you've been to the Premier Complex. In fact, I have friends who live throughout the state who have been to the Premier Complex because they host a lot of tournaments there. Beautiful facility, and we'll have a gorgeous new high school right across the street from that facility. Principal has not been chosen yet for that school. That will be something that will occur in the fall as they go to determine the name, determine the mascot, all of the fun things that come along with a brand new school. One of our major focus areas is expanding opportunities for students in the arts. I can say through the referendum, we have been able to do that. We have more students involved in arts programs than we had in looking back to 2020. We have more art teachers than we had in 2020. And it's something that we've noticed here in Manatee County, but it's also something that has been noted statewide. And so here's an example of the marching band Pirates who participated in the championship, and they were the grand champions, which is really great to see. And then if you go on to the next slide, you'll see a list of all state musicians that we have going on here in the school district. I was able to last week drive up to Tampa on Wednesday night. The Florida Educator Music Conference, I think I got that right, it's FEMC, was occurring in Tampa. And the choir group from Braden River High School, led by Stephen Armstrong, was invited to perform what they call the President Concert. And that was the first time in history that a school district from Manatee County group had been invited to perform. And I can tell you it was absolutely breathtaking. I was blown away. It's one of the top performances I've ever seen, and I'm talking about professional performances down. These students were prepared and talented, and I felt very blessed to be there representing the school district. If you have an interest in seeing any of the art programs, you really should go to our website, check out the pages. Our high schools will have performances in the spring. Parish Community High School always gives a phenomenal show. Manatee High School, they're happening all over, and you can, as a community member, get a ticket and go see these great performances. What better place to brag about the arts than where we are right now? So SOAR and 4, if you haven't heard about our SOAR and 4 program, then you probably haven't been watching the news this spring. And I get it. Sometimes we want to not watch the news. But the SOAR and 4 program is great news. It's very positive news. SOAR and 4 was designed to reach our earliest learners before they even enter school. And it has great results, and it has had national recognition as such. Every month, SOAR and 4 is present at the Bishop Museum. If you have a little one in your life, I invite you to check the calendar and go see this. They also do readings through the month and some play activities in our libraries. They do everything they can to reach out to parents with the idea that the parent is the child's first teacher. And if we can work with the parents and teach skills that are tied to state standards, we will see our children continue to grow in terms of all elements, but also specifically in terms of literacy. So I'll throw out some facts here. Children that participate in our district VPK programs, according to the data, are 91% more likely to graduate on time. So back to when I mentioned graduation hitting above 90% is the regular expectation. If we can get them all in VPK, our data shows that that will be the expectation. Students who participated in our district VPKs scored 10% higher on the third grade reading test. So these literacy skills stick with you as the child walks through their education. And 7 points higher on their algebra EOC, which is a high school graduation requirement. It all matters. We believe in this so much, we're opening 8 additional VPK classrooms next year in our district to provide more opportunity for students to be able to access our programs. Our district VPK programs are top-notch. 96% of them are above expectations. Statewide, the measurement for VPK classrooms are 68% are above expectations, so we're far exceeding that. And if they don't choose a district VPK, our ELC program here in Manatee County runs great private programs as well. We're very lucky in Manatee County. We have a strong partnership with our ELC, and that's making a difference for our future learners, our future students. So the SOAR Lab is what hit big this September. And so right as I was coming on board, and I had the opportunity in my previous job to work with Dr. Sheila Halpin and Steve and Caroline Rustkamp in my previous role. So I was no stranger to what they were developing and the magic they were creating. The SOAR Lab opened in September. Again, you can go on the website and find the open hours. This is a free service to all of our students and families. It focuses on the early learners, right? So if you have your little 2-year-olds and up to age 7, it's really primarily focused, built on state standards to teach literacy, to teach CTE, to teach all those hand-on experiences to the children. But I can tell you, I took my 11-year-old and I had a hard time getting him out of there. So it's for kids of all ages. There are multiple rooms with different themes in each room. There are 3D printers, there's a library, there's blocks, there's some technology. But be prepared. Dr. Halpin and her team will ask you to leave your cell phone at the door or leave it in your pocket and turned off, because it's designed to engage and interact with children and be a part of their teaching experiences. And there are even take-home kits, because again, we want our parents to have the power in teaching their children. So if you ever are interested in touring the lab, we do tours. We also have a space. If you have a small group, we couldn't fit this larger group. But if you have a small group, we do have a space in there, and adults have a nice time learning and working in there. And well, if you have a meeting or lunch that you want to provide, we want everyone to know about the SOAR Lab because we want it to be constantly filled with children ready to learn and ready to grow. So heading to the next slide, showing up matters. This is our attendance campaign. When I came in September, I went to the communications team and I'm like, we have an attendance problem. It's not unique to Manatee. It's nationwide. It's something that we see our state addressing, but we knew we needed a special program just here for our school district to address attendance. And so they came up with the slogan, Showing Up Matters, and I love it because I use it for adults too. When we are tired at the end of the day and we have an event, I mean, there's an event every night this week and a great event that I'll tell you about shortly on Saturday, and you're tired, and I say to myself, showing up matters, and we get up and we show up and we're there for our kids and we're there for our teachers. But in the case of students and parents, we want them to understand the impact of missed days of school. And so there are some stats here. 2 days a month. 2 days a month does not seem like a lot to miss, but you're adding it up, and you see at the bottom that you can equate that to 1 year of school by graduation. That is a lot of school to miss. 4 days a month, you obviously double that. We are looking closely at the impact that our campaign has happened. And when I say campaign, our group, a communications group, has come up with videos, slides. They know how to attack things through social media. I do not. I'm showing my age rapidly, that I'm very unable to get on there and do the things they do. But they are pushing this message out, and we believe it's starting to have an impact. It's like, the saying that you're turning a cruise ship. It's going to be a while to change everyone's mindset on the importance of making sure you're there every day and why it matters. But I can tell you our average daily attendance at this point last year was at 91.9, which doesn't sound bad. That means any day you walk in, about 92% of your students are in school, but that's at some point in the day. So they may have gotten there late, they may be leaving early. Our average daily attendance right now is 93.2. So it's moving up. It's moving up. Chronically absent from quarter two last year and quarter two this year is down 3.3%. Chronically absent means that you have missed 10% of the school days. So 180 days, you've missed 18 of those. So we take 10% of the days that we've had and make that gauge. So we're down 3.3% of chronically absent. And so we see that it's starting to hit. Our principals are on board. They're doing messages. They're putting it on their marquee. And we're going to continue to shout it everywhere because we do have A-rated teachers. We have A-rated programs. I say A-rated because I see it and I can tell you it's A-rated, and we'll get that state A rating. We're going to get that as well. But in my mind, I believe everyone is an A. But it doesn't matter if our students are not in the seats. And so any community support to help push us towards that goal of reducing students who are chronically absent, we will gladly take you up on that. So literacy, our next slide, obviously a focus at all times. All learning is a focus, but literacy especially, because we know how it filters into so many other aspects of a child's education and their preparedness for career and college. If you watched the board meeting this past Tuesday, we had some data from our recent math state assessments, and we had some examples of the questions that children are asked in kindergarten and second grade. And in those questions, you saw the vocabulary that they have to know to be able to answer those questions. Literacy affects everything that the child does. And so we have a huge focus on literacy. And again, we could not do this without the generosity of the community. If you move to the next slide, we took a level up literacy approach this year, really focusing on our third grade. And we were able to put a literacy coach, thanks to the referendum, in every single elementary school. We can see midway through the year, our data is just coming out. They're still analyzing it because the students just tested last week. But I asked them yesterday, I said, please, I need a number. I need to know where we are. And they said, we're 3 points higher than we were last year. I want to be 6 points higher than we were last year. But it's mid-year, and we know where we can make adjustments to try to hit that goal of 6. And I appreciate our curriculum team and our assessments team because I haven't driven them crazy yet with my constant "where are we" questions. But I always want to know where we are on the data. We're seeing gains in our ELA data for all grade levels with a slight, right now what I see in 4th grade is that we haven't seen that gain just yet. But every other grade level, we see the gains, and we'll bring those specific numbers to our board members in a upcoming board meeting as soon as they are done analyzing it, the assessment team. Our math, we did see gains across the board. We see that we're outpacing the state in our gains for grades 3 through 8 math, which again, anytime that we see our learning gains are outpacing the state or neighboring districts, we know we're on the right track with our learning, and we'll eventually reach our goal of being an A district. And so to summarize how we're using every dollar, and this is something we're looking very closely at, as funding will always be an issue. We are continuing to see enrollment increase, and we're very blessed as a district, as a county, to see that because that is not happening around us. But we also are hyper-focused on every dollar to make sure that we're utilizing the money that we receive for the biggest impact. You know, what is our ROI on every dollar that we spend? We are building out on our website some additional web pages so we can be more transparent than ever about where all the monies are going. And so you'll see that coming soon. And you'll see it tied to literacy. You'll see it tied to our teacher pay and incentives for staff. You'll see it tied to safety Again, number one, students have to feel safe and secure when on campus. And you'll see it tied to athletics and STEM and the arts so that students are well-rounded in their education. So we have a couple things to brag about here related to our school showcase, which is coming up this Saturday. The school showcase, we did this last year with the STEM showcase. We also have a Math Superstar event for elementary and middle school students. This is going to be bigger and better than ever because we're also going to have our school showcase there, which means every single school will have a booth and a table and be ready to answer parent questions on all of their programs. And so we're super excited about this. I think we might have a video that has been on social media. One video has 5,000 views, another 24,000 views, and has been shared over 25,000 times, which I hear is a lot.
This all God, this ain't no love. Yeah, I used to be stuck in that mud. Yeah, I was down, but now I'm up.
So that video was shared over 25,000 times. Those are students at Ballard, just down yonder. And do we have the second one?
The School District of Manatee County leads with purpose, driving innovation, building strong partnerships, and empowering every student. This year, more than 3,200 graduates earned over $24.5 million in scholarships, heading to colleges, universities, technical programs, and serving proudly in every branch of the military. Partnerships fuel our career pathways. Gettle Automotive Group added $25,000 to Parish Community High School's automotive program, raising its total support to $100,000. Innovation thrives across our campuses. At Anna Maria Elementary, leaders from across Florida explored the new Guy Harvey Teaching and Learning Deck. From marine science to advanced technology, our programs are inspiring the next generation. You're invited to discover excellence in Manatee County schools. Attend the STEM and School Choice Showcase on Saturday, January 24th, 2026 at the Bradenton Area Convention Center. The School District of Manatee County. Your pathway to success starts here.
So great job by our team in creating that video. Thank you. And so we say often Momentum Manatee because we truly feel that we have a great path towards success here. And success for our school district means success for our community. Some other things that we have coming up is, well, we have an MTC graduation tonight, which is very exciting. We have a presentation we're pulling together for the board on some work to bring MTC programs on the west side of town so we can expand. We know it's geographically difficult to drive in long distances in our budding community here. So we're looking to expand some programs on the west side of town as we reshape the offerings that we have district-wide. So I truly appreciate the time that you all gave today and your interest in our school district. And just remember Momentum Manatee. Thank you.
Please give Dr. Breslin another round of applause. So now is the time for questions from our members. To ask a question, you must be a member of Manatee Tiger Bay. Christy, please raise your hand. You may go to the microphone now if you have a question. Please do not elaborate. This is have a conversation with her, but not a one-on-one at the microphone. So if you would like to ask any questions afterwards, I'm pretty sure she'll be here to speak with you after the meeting. But if you want to come forth now, you can come to the microphone and ask your questions.
Hi, my name is Liv Coleman. I'm a professor of political science at the University of Tampa. We have gotten some great students over the years from Manatee County Public Schools. I live in Bradenton. Thank you so much for this great presentation. I was wondering if you could comment about the federal and state impacts on the local school district with Secretary McMahon, is final mission for the Department of Education to close it down and possible grant cuts. I don't know how the district's been affected, or a possible property taxes being eliminated, if that's something you're looking at about how it could impact the district. Thanks.
Sure. Thank you for that question. I'd say the one thing constant in education is definitely change. And so we're always ready and willing to accept whatever changes might come our way. One of the things that we've done as a district is really taken a look at all of our grant money, whether it's state or federal. Many of our grants are temporary that cycle, and so we always have to be prepared to take on expenditures that might be grant funded if the grant doesn't return. For the federal grants, of course, it's a larger amount of money and money that we've been accustomed to receiving for many years. So certainly I can't say it wouldn't have an impact, but we have carefully looked at every resource and position paid for grants to determine if we needed to pivot, what we need to do to absorb that. We're still waiting for word on what might happen. It's hard to predict what might be the outcome. We saw some changes last summer, then we saw the changes go back, and then we saw them, So I learned to be prepared, to know where every dollar is, and know where we can squeeze more dollars if necessary. But I also learned that if we focus too much on what might be, then we lose focus on the top 6 in 2026, and I don't want anyone to take their eye off on what we're trying to accomplish right now.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sheila Fiakowski. Thank you for being here, and thank you to our school board members. It's great to have you all here. I am hearing in our community from people, parents of high schoolers, especially single moms, that they have a hard time just physically getting their kids out of bed sometimes and getting them to school. And I like one exasperated single mom in my neighborhood is like wanting a meeting with the principal. She doesn't know what to do. She's just at her wit's end and it's common. It's surprisingly common. I mean, I know that affects our graduation rates. So are there resources out there for someone like this to help solve what's wrong with the kid, or is there something
Right.
they can do?
Right. I can say, and I often refer to my own children. So through 4 boys, I can tell you my oldest was the most difficult to get out of bed. I definitely went through that with him, and I worked closely with school counselors. And so, of course, the first resource would always be the school counselor. We do have social workers. We do have a variety of resources through the community that we can refer parents to. We also have options for students if their current education track isn't speaking to them, so to speak. So, for example, my oldest son, and I mean, we didn't say this earlier, but I spent many years as a high school teacher in high school, 7 years a high school assistant principal. So very familiar with resistant high school age students. Sometimes it's reframing their path towards graduation. And so we have those options. And a lot of our schools have taken that on this past year, which has helped increase our graduation rate. We used to say, if you're not working out in the 7-period traditional high school, then you need to go to XYZ. Well, we send them to XYZ and nothing happens. And so we stopped doing that, right? That doesn't make sense. If the data shows that the students aren't making progress there, stop sending them there. So we changed it so we now offer alternative programs on campus. So it could be they need to talk about, could I come in later in the day and stay later and do my education this way? Now, it looks differently because we only have teachers till a certain time in person, but there's other programming that we can offer with a certified teacher in the room, but maybe some online interaction as well. We also expanded our OJT offerings. Some students find, and again, back to my older son who would kill me if he knew I was sharing this information, but the OJT helped him because I found that he learned a lot of his personal skills, which he really was an introvert at age 16, and he started working in a restaurant, and now he could, talk to the wall, and sometimes I think does. He's come a long way in his growth, but it's not always in the traditional environment, and we have to, as a school district, be able to react to the different needs of students to meet them where they are. So I would encourage her, yes, absolutely, talk to the principal. The principal can direct to the resource and find the right education path for the children, for any of our students that are having difficulty wanting to get up. First period in high school is very early. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is April Sheffield, and I'm from Sarasota. But Dr. V, yeah, I'm going to hit you with a hot topic.
Okay.
I would like to know what Manatee County's district measurements or what placement will this district have with dealing with the students with having ISIS coming into our school system, pulling the kids out?
Well, first,
My question to Dr. B is, what are the measurements that the district will put in place taking students out
Yeah.
by ISIS?
right. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the question. I served as a principal in Sarasota, a great school district. I can tell you this. I know that we're currently in session, right? We have Tallahassee working on different laws and policies. And so I would like to see what happens in that process as we go through and determine our own. So right now we don't ask immigration status of students. We have zero incidents of anyone coming onto our campus in any way, shape, or form related to any policy or law related to immigration. So our focus again is on business as usual, keeping our students safe and secure and focused on their learning. We, of course, always follow and cooperate with law enforcement. And we follow the law and we follow policy. Now, if somebody comes onto a campus in any way, shape, or form related to a legal issue, our principals know that they call their legal department and they get advice and resources. We don't expect our principals to have to interpret or determine the law. That's why we have a legal department.
Hi,
Good
my
to see you.
name's Rick Maddox. Excuse me. I've had 40 years of my children being in Manatee County School District. Not only that, but I was a graduate of Manatee High School. Go Canes.
Go Canes.
We have a few grads in the room.
I'm very concerned about the hiring and retention of teachers, as I'm certain you are. One of the things I was hearing on the radio on my way over here was that apparently there's a very large push statewide because the discipline in the classroom and the disruption and everything is not only creating a problem for learning, but it's keeping the problem of retaining teachers a problem as well. So I'm wondering how you wish to combat that.
Thank you for your question and good to see you again. So when we came out, I was a principal when I worked in another school district, when students returned to school after we shut down in 2020. And I was a middle school principal. But I heard repeatedly from my elementary colleagues, especially, of the difficulty in normalizing education again in the education setting for children after there was a long span of not going back to school. I have also heard that we have improved. And so I haven't just heard that from teachers, but I've heard that, I've reviewed that from our data. So if we look at our discipline data, we see dramatic improvements. And that's happened because of interventions that we have put in place. Teachers need support. If they're having a significant issue, they need to know what steps they can take to resolve that. But the students also need that same support, know what they can do if they're having trouble adapting to whatever the learning activity is for that day. I can tell you as of today, we have 0 elementary children at our alternative site. 0. I can tell you about 4 years ago, that number, and don't quote me on this, but it was closer to 70. And so we're keeping our kids in their classrooms with their teachers. And so, yes, was it a challenge coming back? 100%. But I feel like we've made a lot of progress, and that progress doesn't stop because we can't give up on our teachers who need the support. We can't give up on our children that need the support. We also have a trauma center called Sable, and we've put a lot of resources and put a new principal over there that focuses specifically on pre-K through 5 children in an effort to get them to stabilize so they can go back to their regular education environment. And we found that care is assisting in keeping kids out of the discipline cycle and back into their regular classroom.
Hi, I'm Sheila Fiakowski again. My next question is about middle school sports, and I brought this up before, but I know there's a lot of talk about recess in middle school, and I have, I guess, 4 kids and yes. With all the talk about the recess, I really feel like we could do better with middle school sports, because that process of trying to get your kid good enough to be on a high school team requires that you do pay to play, and the hours and the money is very hard on a parent. So what are we doing to make a more robust program in middle school sports?
Right, and I remember, and I was at a same function as you. I might have been here. Okay, and so I remember this. I remember this question, and so I don't disagree with what you're saying. I would like to see an extension of middle school sports in terms of lengthening the season and maybe even offering a couple different types of activities. There are some programs that other school districts have that we don't have, because I think one, it definitely prepares them to be more competitive in high school. But 2, it just offers that connection to school. My son very candidly told me on Tuesday he was thinking about going to the clinic for a sore throat, and then he remembered that he had a football game. He's fine. He's not sick. Trust me. But he's fine. But it makes a difference. And so that's something we're looking at. This is the first year that we've had the referendum tied to athletics, and we've infused a lot of money into that to support programs, and we'll continue to look at how we can better support our middle school programs as well.
Thank you.
Okay, I will. Hi. Okay, you hear me? My name is Betty Sales Rose. The only question I have for you, I know you're the superintendent, and I like what you're doing. If not, you'll see me at the meetings. But the only thing I need to ask, we here in the neighborhood, are you all planning to sell some portion of land over by Lincoln? I know I should wait till the DOT come in, but this flyover, we need to know, because they're having a big meeting on this. Are you all planning on doing that? Charlie? I just like to play with him.
Yes. So I can tell you, and this goes along with schools of hope and things like that. So we do have the Florida Department of Education coming in to right size some of our capacity reports. We have some old data in there, and a prime example is Harley Center, where we have our Sable program, we have our ESC Center, we have AMI, we have our SOAR lab, and none of that's reflected correctly. We have other buildings that aren't reflected correctly as well. And so that they have agreed to come in and right size our fish report, and that is happening in the beginning of February. We have no plans to sell land, so I've squashed that right away. We believe that we have very vital programs and excellent schools, then we're using our facilities. We have to do a better job showing that we're using it. And so that's our approach, is not selling but showing. And of course, I work at the direction of the board, but I've heard nothing in terms of that. Yes, ma'am.
So I took the microphone so you don't have to move and I don't have to move, but I have a couple questions that came in that I want to make sure that we get answered, if you don't mind. Sure. One of them was, what supports are in place with the district for mental health and social emotional learning?
Great question. So we partner with outside agencies for mental health support, Centerstone, Florida Center, and many others. We also have in-house counselors, from school counselors to mental health counselors. Our social workers can offer mental health supports. And we offer with some online virtual providers as well, which is something as we have dipped into. We find that some of our high schoolers prefer that. But all of it is in conjunction with families. Families are part of that process. If a student is seeking support, parent is aware and approves it and is on board with that.
How are you motivating or encouraging parental involvement throughout the district?
Well, one is, I don't know if you've heard, but we have a showcase coming up this Saturday.
That always gets them out.
We encourage all of our parents to come because they sometimes are the ones that encourage their child to sign up. Like, I didn't know your school had this. We have our back to school nights and our open houses on our campuses that occur in the fall and early winter. We also brought back, which I think is huge, is we brought back the parent teacher conference nights for elementary schools that hadn't been around for some years, and that's key, very, very important in that process. So we believe absolutely that parents need to be a part of their child's education. It's harder to do as they get older, so if we can get them in as a young age and show that we're partners in this, that I think we obviously see the benefits of that.
And the last question, I think I'm sure what they were trying to ask about the charter schools using district space.
Yes. So that would be the Schools of Hope legislation. And I think, again, the two letters that we received were for Harley Center and Lincoln. And in both cases, our campuses are full. So we sent the information back and provided that to the organization that sent us that information. And we have heard nothing back. But at the same time, we're not stopping there. We're inviting the DOE to come in, walk all over our facilities. One of the interesting things when you look at student enrollment and FISH reports is that currently your VPK programs are not listed on there. We have a very large number, I think 112 VPK classrooms. So you can imagine the space that it looks like that we have open when you don't count that. I believe right now in Tallahassee that they're looking at that to add in VPK students as part of the overall enrollment. So that problem should be taken care of.
Any other questions?
I was just going to ask, how are you guys preparing the students for the workforce for dealing and learning STEM coding technology?
So a lot of our, and the question was, if you didn't hear, how we're preparing students for STEM and coding and things like that. So a lot of our work is going partner, like hand in hand with our community, right? Our business partners know what our students need and the skills they need. We actually had USF professor come speak to all of our school and district leaders last month about AI and how AI is actually taking over coding a little bit. So coding is now going to be, not necessarily as high in demand. So it's all rapidly changing. So we rely on our partnerships with universities, colleges, businesses to make sure we're getting our students. We just had, I promise I'll stop talking after this. We just had this week students from Manatee High School, Palmetto High School, and Parrish High School go out to Manatee Memorial Hospital. They invited our students to come look at their new robotics system they have. This crazy machine performs the surgery, and the students actually got to get in there and unwrap. They did like unwrapping candy using the machine. So things like that, those types of experiences not only teaches our students about what the future looks like, but it gets them excited about it. So that's what we try to do. I promised I'd stop talking.
No, you're fine. No, I'm looking at one of my board members over here. So really quick, thank you again so much. Thank you for all you're doing. Please give her another round of applause. I want to make sure that I acknowledge we had a candidate. Dr. Jonathan Mullis is a candidate for Manatee County School District 5. Please wave your hand so they can see you and give him a round of applause. I apologize. I do want to do a plug really quick because I'm the president and I can. This is for G.D. Rogers Elementary. Mr. Scorsia is the president. He's having his Black History Month celebration February 24th, and it's going to be at 5:15 for his SAC meeting. I have a children's book that is dedicated to G.D. Rogers. It's called Little Authors, and it's teaching kids and encouraging them how to be book author. So we'll be doing that, books, providing books to the children at Rogers Elementary. So if you can come out, I have all the district here. So you all are invited on behalf of that principal. So we appreciate you coming. Thank you so much for coming today. I want to thank Basil's for the lunch. February 26th, we have Sheriff Rick Wells, Chief Tyler, we have Chief Tokacher, and Chief Kramer. That is our law enforcement update for the year. We appreciate you coming out. We want to thank the METV staff and Chris Dolan, ABC7 for coming out today. All of my board members, would you please stand for one moment and be recognized if you're here? Thank you for all you do. We appreciate it. You all may go home. Thank you for joining us.